First off, I want to announce the FFA Market Steer Buckle is sponsored by Kathy St. John in memory of Dave St. John. FFA Market Finals, we're going to bring the number ones, the class winners in order. Peyton Cannon, Reagan Soliday, Colby Ledgerwood, Tyler Dixon, Jack Bazer, and Kendall Denny. We're going to follow this up with the second places in class. Olivia Wicks, Grayson Slaybaugh, Molly Warren, Alyssa Williams, Tyler Dixon, and Olivia Wicks. Again, this is the FFA Market Final Show. Our judge today is Spencer Scotton from Redlands Community College in Oklahoma. Our ring sponsor is Ag West Farm Credit. Our FFA Market Steer Buckle is sponsored by Kathy St. John in memory of Dave St. John.
Well, we've got a few grand drives to go through as we get our market steer exhibitors on our FFA side back out here. We're going to pick a champion reserve, and we're going to do a sale order for them, and then we're going to do the same thing for the 4-H, and then we're going to pick a supreme champion as we bring both of those champions back together. But we'll take a minute to recognize our FFA exhibitors. Our FFA market steer show today was extremely good, and I know it's been a little bit kind of before lunch as we got these steers out and got them going and bringing them back. I've been really impressed with the quality today, and I was really hoping these steers would come back and look good, and they do, because I was very impressed all the way through with our FFA show. If you would, around ringside, let's congratulate all of them that made it out here on such a nice job today. I think throughout the day, I've mentioned it in the heifer show, but what was really impressive to me was just the depth and quality of the classes. I know we're just going to bring our first and seconds back out of these classes for our champion and reserve and our sale lineup, but there was a lot of really good steers that were third, fourth, fifth, and even sixth, seventh in a lot of those classes, and I want to commend everybody up here and your exhibitors on the great job that they did today. It was really fun to work with. I got to work with a first-class set of young people out here on the FFA side, and that means a lot to me. I can tell you, you can go anywhere and find good livestock, but finding really, really good kids that are top-notch and first class, I really enjoyed my day out here doing that. So congratulations to you on the set of young people that came through this ring. I thought they were great to work with, and even behind the scenes, like I said, I know we've got a couple grand drives coming back, but our ring help today, everybody behind the scenes getting everything lined up, it makes my job easy. That has been absolutely phenomenal. So if you would, put your hands together in appreciation for that as well before we get too deep into this. Well, I'm not going to go back through and talk all of our class winners, but rest assured, I do think our champion and reserve are both going to be very nice, and it's very competitive up here on the top end. I think we've got cattle up here that won their classes that represent fundamental good cattle, that are muscular, that are good-bodied, that are sound-structured, and then as you look down the lineup, we've got cattle that represent very, very high quality and good balanced steers as well. So, again, hats off to all you exhibitors, everybody behind you, your FFA advisors, whoever's helping all these young people out. I want to give a big thanks to you because I know it takes a big team, it takes a big group to get here to this point, and whenever you young people get done, you need to give them a big hug and you need to tell them thanks, because I promise you it takes a lot of resources, time, finances, and it takes a lot to deal with these projects. I know going all the way through the year, it's not easy to do this. So again, thanks to everybody for having me out here for the FFA show. It's been outstanding. I'm going to set this down. We'll select your champion and reserve, and then we're going to get you a sale lineup here of our FFA steers. One more time, if you would, let's put your hands together. Let's congratulate all of our class winners and second places that made it back out.
I'm not doing my duties well enough, sorry. Grand champion 4-H market steer was Jack Baser. Reserve champion FFA market steer Ty Dixon. Third overall FFA market steer Tyler Dixon. Fourth, Colby Ledgerwood. Who is it behind? Grayson. Fifth, Alyssa Williams. Sixth, Colby Ledgerwood. Seventh, Kendall Denny. Eighth, Molly Warren. Is that 10th, Reagan Soliday. 9th. Grayson Slaybaugh. 11th, Olivia Wicks. 12th, Grayson Slaybaugh. 13th, Peyton Cannon. 14th, Olivia Wicks. John Dixon. All right, we will excuse the cattle from the ring, but we would ask that the top 5 steers stay close, as we will take pictures, backdrop pictures, after the Supreme show. And the Grand and Reserve champion steers will be coming back in for that Supreme show. Let's give them a round of applause as they exit the ring, please. Once again, this FFA Market Steer Buckle was sponsored by Kathy St. John in memory of Dave St. John. All right, next we're going to bring in our 4-H market finals. Again, our judge, Spencer Scotton from Redlands Community College. Our ring sponsor, Ag West Farm Credit. All of the class winners coming in order: Colin Hames, Emily Blickenstaff, Charlie Stallcup with our champion market heifer, Quinn Falwell, Autumn Dixon, Brooke Gassetti, Kale Cordill, Lila Blickenstaff, and Charlie Casey. Now our class runner-ups coming into the ring: Cade Meacham, Kane Geddes, Reese Soliday, Maggie Olson, Ann Hedrick, Judson Hall, Quinn Falwell, Larissa Lippert, and Chloe Weisler. Our 4-H market steer buckle is sponsored by Zach and Bailey St. John in memory of Dave St. John.
One cool fact about our 4-H market steer show, before we got started this morning, we were looking through the classes, and compared to last year, I think there was more 4-H market steers entered this year than there was market steers between the 4-H and FFA shows last year. So how about it for our 4-H exhibitors? Please put your hands together for them. we worked through a lot of cattle today over here on the 4-H side, and they've been really, really good. And as these class winners and second places come back out, some of those classes, as you remember back through each and every one of them, and as they were coming back in, I was thinking back to the classes that they came out of and the other ones that were in there. It was pretty tough sledding. There was a lot of competitive steers that were in each one of those classes, and so it dang sure wouldn't have been easy to make it back out here. And so you young people that came out here and got a first or a second, you better be pretty impressed, because there was a lot of very, very good cattle to work through in each and every one of those classes. But I'm very pleased with our class winners and second places that we bring back out. Mirror a lot of the comments that we talked about in our FFA show that was super competitive that we just got done with. Fundamentally, these cattle out here, they fit. And I think each and every one of them, they're muscular cattle that are good enough in terms of their structure. There's some give and take amongst our lineup that we've got out here. And there's some different types and kinds of cattle that we've got from one end to the other, and even over here on the second place side. But hey, that's okay. Quality comes in different shapes and sizes, and relative to what we had in each one of those classes. Again, I'm really happy with what we brought back out here, and really happy with the set of showmen that we've got out here too, and I'm excited to work with them tomorrow. I thought our show has been extremely competitive today. Our 4-H division has been wicked, wicked tough. A lot of steers and a lot of good ones in each and every one of those classes. Again, I'm not going to go back through and talk each and every one of them, but I do really like our set of class winners that we bring back out here. They're all just a little different in terms of their kind, but all very, very nice cattle that you young people should be very proud of, and your families and whoever's helping you should be very, very proud of the projects that you brought out here. Again, one more time, let's congratulate our young people out here that made it for our champion and reserve lineup. I'm going to set this down. We're going to select you a champion in reserve, and we're going to do just like the FFA and get you a wholesale lineup of our steers out here. So hang with us and be patient as we get these steers moved in and out. But congratulations. If you made it out here, you really did something today and really accomplished a lot, again, because our show was so good, so tough. Let's get you a champion in reserve and a sale lineup.
Grand champion 4-H market steer Brooke Giusetti. Reserve champion Judson Hall. Third overall, Cale Cordill. Fourth, Autumn Dixon. Fifth overall, Quinn Falwell. Sixth, Lila Blickenstaff. Seventh, Charlie Casey. Eighth, Emily Blickenstaff. Ninth, Larissa Lippert. Tenth, Quinn Falwell. 11th, Chloe Weisler. 12th overall is Charlie Stallcup, which also happens to be our grand champion market heifer. Charlie, would you come back after the Supreme Drive for a picture with your banner and buckle? 13th, Kane Geddes. 14th, Ann Hedrick. 13th, Reese Soliday. Excuse me, that was 14th. 15th is Colin Hames. 16th, Cade Meacham. And 17th, Maggie Olson. All right, top 5 steers. Stay close. You'll have to exit the ring, but stay close. We'll take pictures after the Supreme Drive. Grand and Reserve Champion. You guys will go out and come right back in for the Supreme Overall Market Animal. Let's give them all a big round of applause as they exit the ring. I do want to announce again that the Market Steer Buckle was sponsored by Zach and Bailey St. John in memory of Dave St. John. The Market Heifer Buckle was sponsored by Basin Farm and Feed. Also, I need to announce that the team fitting contest has been canceled due to all the steers being in use in the finals. We will make adjustments accordingly for next year. All right, coming into the ring now will be our Supreme Market Animal Drive. This is the first year we've done this. This year, the Supreme Market Beef Award is sponsored by Schwartz Ranch in memory of Dan and Karen Coonrad of Pullman and WSU. Coming into the ring for the Supreme Drive will be our Grand and Reserve Champion FFA and 4-H Market Animals. So coming in will be Jack Baser and Tyler Dixon representing FFA, and Brooke Gassetti and Judson Hall representing 4-H.
Well, last year, whenever I got the call to come out here and work with you guys out here at the Junior Livestock Show Spokane, I was really, really excited because last year, whenever I came out to do your cattle show, that was the first time that I'd ever gotten the opportunity to come out here and judge in the state of Washington. So I was pumped to come out, and so I really enjoyed the show. The livestock last year was phenomenal, and so whenever I got the opportunity to come back, I jumped at it. I don't know if I had anything on my schedule, but if I did, I was going to clear it off because last year was so much fun. I had such an enjoyable time out here working with your young people, working with a great set of people behind the scenes that make this show happen. I really, really appreciated the hospitality last year, so I was really excited to get to come back. And even though the show was so good last year, my expectations were set high. I'll tell you what, today we had an awesome set of cattle, and not only the market steers that we've got out here between our 4-H and our FFA champions that we bring back in our market steer show, but our heifer show was awesome. Our prospect show was really, really good too, and there were a lot of good cattle that I'll be excited for those young people to drag up and down the road. I thought just a phenomenal set of cattle. So from what my expectations were from last year, I thought it was awesome. It was really, really good. You guys stepped it up, and you brought the heat this year. I thought our set of cattle today was absolutely phenomenal. So not just for the 4 young people that are in the ring right now, everybody that showed today that made this so deep and so competitive, please put your hands together for them and congratulate them on putting a heck of a show on today. Well, kind of a neat change from last year to this year. In my understanding, the first time we've ever brought the champion and reserve steers from the 4-H and the FFA divisions back together to do a Supreme overall. That's the same way that we do it in our state, at our state fair at Missouri. And so I think this is a pretty cool deal and a great way to bring both of those champions back and face off head-to-head with our FFA and our 4-H champions. All 4 of them very deserving to be out here as we were working through those grand drives and all those class winners that came back out, and as we were working through those sale lineups, we had a great set of them, both divisions, and so I was really excited to get to highlight our champions and reserves out here, and you young people deserve another huge round of applause. The 4 of them that made it back out here out of really, really deep water. If you would, put your hands together for our champions and reserves. Well, one last thank you, and then I'll get off here and we'll select your champion reserve 3rd and 4th overall. I mentioned it before. I think we were in our FFA drive, but our ring help today and everybody behind the scenes has been phenomenal to work with. It makes my job super easy, and I know that it's not just a today thing and it's not just a this week thing, that they're putting work and putting time into making this show happen for you young people. I know behind the scenes it takes a lot to make one of these things tick. Your sponsors put in a lot. It's all year long making sure that you've got the sponsorships, everything in line to make sure this happens for this week. So everybody behind the scenes that makes this happen, I want to thank you personally for what you're doing for these young people. It was an awesome show, a great experience for me, and hopefully for them too. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down. We'll select your champion reserve 3rd and 4th overall here in your market steer show. Again, congratulations to the young people and a great set of steers that they brought out today. I'm excited to pick them.
Supreme overall market steer, Jack Baser. Reminder that that award is sponsored by Schwartz Ranch in memory of Dan and Karen Coonrad. Reserve overall market steer, Ty Dixon. 3rd, Brooke Giusetti, and 4th, Judson Hall. All right, I believe we are going to take some backdrop pictures. The Supreme through 4th overall, and then the top 5 of the FFA and 4-H divisions. Again, let's thank our judge, Spencer Scotton, our ring sponsor, Ag West Farm Credit, our title sponsor for the 90th Annual Junior Show, the Duke and Ruth Fetty Trust, and Robert V. Baker Foundation. Let's give them all a warm round of applause, please. We're going to bring into the ring now our 3 calves from our new Ranch to Show program. They're just going to come in and be placed by Mr. Spencer Scotton. First into the ring is Adeline McMahon, Piper Price, and Ann Hedrick. Again, these are all steers that were part of the new Ranch to Show program. These students had to apply somewhat of a rigorous application process and then get selected and then get matched up with the donor. The donors for these Ranch to Show steers, the sponsors are Dixon Land and Livestock and 4W Ranch. And Batez Cattle Company.
Even though there's only 3 of them here in this particular class, I think a really, really neat division that you guys started out here. And all 3 of these young ladies have done a heck of a job with these steers. They've done a great job feeding them. Whenever you go in and handle them, you can tell they've done a really, really nice job getting these cattle presented out here today. And they were really competitive all throughout the day, whether it was in their regular classes or there was one of them in particular that made the grand drive out here this afternoon. And so I've been really impressed with the quality of these 3 steers that we bring back out here. All of them very similar in terms of type and kind. They're good bodied, good feeding cattle that are certainly good enough in their structure. We're going to go ahead and place them. I think there's one of them that for me, boldness, shape, expression, and still probably a little upgrade in terms of structure in comparison to the one that's going to be second. The young lady in the back of the lineup, she's going to have your champion out here in this division. Congratulations to her. The young lady in the middle of the lineup is going to be your reserve champion out here. Awesome shape. That is a great, great handling kind of a steer. Very appropriate in his degree of finish. A little jammed up front. Didn't move quite as good from behind. And then the young lady's steer up front is going to be 3rd overall. He's at a little bit of a weight disadvantage, and so he comes off just a little more immature, and there's not as much of him from a power standpoint. But that's a really nice calf, and you've done a good job with him. So congratulations to all 3 of these young ladies. Give them a big hand on a nice job today.
Grand Champion Ranch to Show steer, Ann Hedrick, donated by 4W Ranch. Reserve Champion Piper Price, donated by Dixon Land and Livestock. And 3rd place, Adrian McMahon, donated by Batez Livestock. Young ladies, if all 3 of you would pull over to the backdrop, we're going to take a picture with you and your sponsors.